Hello everyone, it's so nice to see you. Welcome to Mrs. Pillai Stories. How are you all doing today? Are you all fine? I'm so happy to know that. How is the weather like outside? For me, it's a bright summer's day. What about you? Is it raining? Is it cloudy? Is it windy? Or is it snowy? Okay, let's get back to the story. The name of my story is The Princess and the Pea. Do you know what a pea is? The tiny green peas. Do you like eating green peas? I do. Do you like it? Good. So this is how the story begins. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, lived the king, her queen, and a little Prince George. This little Prince George was very picky. Picky in the sense he's very particular about everything. He won't eat anything if his food is cold. He always wears a red jacket and his shoes is always black. He was very, very picky. This little Prince George grew up into a handsome young Prince George. They were looking for a princess for young George to get married. They couldn't find anyone because Prince George was very picky, wasn't he? He didn't like any of the princess. He would always find some excuse to say no. He said, my princess should be a real princess and very sensitive to the needs of herself and the others. I am waiting for my real princess. He couldn't find that real princess yet. He's still waiting. One night, there was a terrible, terrible rain. It was so windy, all the trees started to fall. It was a really horrible, horrible night. They heard a knock on the door. King said to the guards, go and open the door. Guards opened the door and there stood a girl, dripping clothes. Hair was all wild because of the wind. And she said, dear king, I think I'm lost. I can't find my way back to my kingdom. Can I stay here for a night? King said, yes, of course you can, my little girl. Come in. She went in. Our Prince George had a look. And he said in his mind, this is my real princess. All I need to find out if she is sensitive. So he had a brilliant plan. That night, when it was bedtime, Prince George took one pea, the tiny green pea, and gave it to his mother and said, Mum, can you place this little pea under the mattress of that little girl? Mum wasn't sure why Prince George was asking this. Prince George said, I want to find out if she's a real princess. So there's the pea, then the mattress, another mattress, and that girl is going to sleep on top of the mattress. Okay, that night went past. Next morning, she was all ready to go back to her kingdom. They all sat down for breakfast. Everybody was having their breakfast, talking about that terrible night that passed. Prince George said, I couldn't sleep because the wind was so loud. He asked, did you sleep well yesterday night? The girl had a look at the prince and said, oh, Prince, I couldn't sleep yesterday night because the bed wasn't comfortable. There was definitely something under my mattress. I couldn't had one bit of sleep yesterday. Prince George was so happy. This girl was very sensitive, wasn't it? How did she even find out that there was a little pea under the mattress? She was that sensitive, wasn't she? Yes, so Prince George was so happy. You are the one I was waiting for. You are the real princess, the real sensitive princess that I've been waiting for. He was so happy. To see his son happy, King and Queen was more happy because they found the princess. So the King and the Queen sent people down to the other kingdom to ask for this girl to get married to Prince George. They had a grand wedding. Everybody came to see the princess, the real princess. They had a brilliant wedding. Everyone was so happy. Do you know who was more happiest? Yes, that's right. Prince George was the happiest man in that kingdom that day because he managed to find his princess. And they lived happily ever after. And that's the end of my story. Do you like that story? What's your favorite vegetable? Write it in the comment box below, your favorite vegetable. Until I come back next time for more of Mrs. Pillai stories, it's bye-bye from me.